What's going on, boys and girls? Welcome back to the Free Grisaia. My name is Michael SK, and last time we did the end of Sachi's past. That's pretty much it. I mean, I don't really want to talk too much about it because there's a lot that happened in her past. So, if you have not seen the recent episodes of this playthrough, I really recommend you go back and you watch those. But we're going to get into it right here. I don't have a lot of time to do this, so let's just jump right back, right back into the game. Let's do this. Also, I would like to apologize for my commentary not being that good recently, or at least I don't think so. It's not really congestion, but I can't exactly speak up when I'm doing commentaries. My throat just does not allow me to do that. So I apologize for me not being able to, perform at my best here. So just know that I'm sorry, and you don't have to accept that apology, just know that I am. So we just got out of Sachi's past. This is literally what happened at the end when she literally burnt down a school. So here we go. So this is Sachi's past, huh? Although the fire brigade rushed to the scene and extinguished the flames before the building could suffer much structural damage, the main classrooms were reduced to charred wrecks. As it contained the highest concentration of flammable materials in the building, the faculty room suffered particularly severe damage, and the scheduled midterm examinations had to be postponed indefinitely. Rumors that Sachi had been responsible spread quickly throughout the town, and when interviewed by the police, she immediately confessed to total responsibility for the incident. However, her motivation was unclear, and testimony from her classmates revealed that Sachi had been subjected to chronic bullying. Her confession was deemed unreliable, and suspicion came to rest on her tormentors. In the end, the investigators couldn't find any decisive evidence in identifying the responsible party, and the arson case was closed without charges. Man, that girl that was bullying her, dude, what a bitch. I forgot that she was such a bitch to Sachi. That was so fucked up, dude. Nonetheless, Sachi's aunt and uncle were disturbed by her confession and abnormal behavior throughout the incident. They had her receive a comprehensive psychiatric examination from a specialist, leading to a secondary diagnosis: a severe variety of obsessive-compulsive disorder, a condition that meant attending a normal school was ill-advised and potentially dangerous. Soon thereafter, it was arranged for Sachi to transfer to Mihama Academy. In other words, witnessing that accident had damaged Sachi's mind far more severely than was immediately apparent. Considering what I know of her current mindset, I doubt she even regards setting that fire as a mistake. Today, Sachi remains under the guardianship of her childless uncle and aunt. Her mother's still in the hospital, deep in a persistent coma. That would be a rough summary of how things currently stand. I toss the papers down on the bench and look up into the sky. In other words, there's a lot more to Sachi than what I've seen so far. Definitely, dude. After this past, after we've seen what she's gone through as a child, my perspective on Sachi has definitely changed. Back then, the only thing I knew was that Sachi's parents were busy with work and didn't pay much attention to her anymore. And these documents are business-like summaries pulled from Ichigaya's databases. I have the basic facts and sufficient detail to speculate, but it's hardly a comprehensive story. At the moment, Sachi's probably the only person in the world who knows the precise nature of the suffering that reshaped her personality so dramatically. Even so, there's one thing I can say for certain. She suffered an incredibly cruel and abrupt loss at a young age. These 6 flimsy sheets of paper couldn't possibly have contained everything she went through. We've seen everything she has gone through, but Yuuji has not. Keep in mind that he only has documents that were given to him by JB. That can't contain literally everything she experienced. That's not possible. From the way Sachi spoke those words, I think they were absolutely true, and that means she saw the people she loved and she loved most in the world fatally injured before her eyes. In the reports, her parents are described as a hard-working couple who cared deeply for their daughter. Their reputation in the neighborhood was excellent. Even without knowing the details of their relationship with Sachi, it's easy to understand that losing them would have been shocking and painful under any circumstances. What's more, it happened on her birthday. And from the dates, it must have been the day after I said goodbye. God damn. At the time, my friendship with the girl in the playground had become my strongest source of emotional support. If the same had been true for Sachi as well, in a single day she lost her closest family members and her closest friend. So those words she's so fond of, good girl, bad girl. She tried to drag me to the playground with an arbitrary promise. She ran out of her house that day without listening to her parents, and all of a sudden she found herself alone. Her thought process isn't difficult to imagine. I was a selfish, bad girl, and everyone went away. From now on, I have to be a good girl and do what I'm told. Carried to an extreme, that's no different from turning yourself into an obedient, thoughtless robot. When the teachers tell her to work hard at her studies, she works hard. When some idiot tells her to wear a maid uniform, she never takes it off. Her own will and the intentions behind the orders are irrelevant. Performing them to the letter is the whole point. Doing what she's told is an end itself. Sachi was only a child at the time. This simplistic obsessive obedience was the sole coping method she could find. The only way she could escape her regret and guilt. No one has the right to blame her for that. That's right. Sachi stopped thinking for herself as a self-defense mechanism. Her wounds were so severe that she lost the ability to distinguish between right and wrong. That warped absolute allegiance to her principles accumulated in the school arson incident. To take the most extreme possible example, if someone unambiguously ordered Sachi to kill someone right now, she might commit murder without hesitation. The commandment she imposed on herself is a dangerous thing, a brittle wall, as likely to harm as protect. All things considered, might have been lucky that it was only arson. The more people know about Sachi's abnormality, the greater the risk of someone attempting to exploit it. An event like that was all but inevitable. You know, though you think about it, Sachi could do some really bad things, and it was even shown in the anime that she could have done something bad. I honestly don't know if that's going to happen here, and that's why I said in the last session that she almost burnt down this school. I don't know if that's going to happen here because that's how Yuuji learned of her past, I believe, is by stopping her from doing that, if I'm correct. So now that we learned about her past in a completely different way and all this stuff is going on, I'm pretty sure that's not happening. But yeah, in the anime, she almost burned down the school because basically the same shit that happened in the last episode. For the same reason, it makes sense that she was transferred to this academy with its small student body and limited contact with the outside world. The question now is whether I can actually do anything with this knowledge. I might be sitting here and analyzing other people's abnormalities, but I'm not as well-adjusted person myself by any stretch of the imagination. Can I, of all people, help someone regain normality? If there's one thing that gives me hope, it's the expression I saw on Sachi's face back then. Thinking it over now, I'm even more firmly convinced that her smiles have always been artificial, forced things. But just that once, something was clearly different. Something that makes me think I can bring her back. Might sound like flimsy grounds for optimism, but at our first meeting, my master took one look at me and declared, "We can still fix this one." That's why I'm here today. Come to think of it, my master told me something once. Accepting a favor isn't anything to be ashamed of, kid, but not returning it is. There's no need to overthink this. From that perspective, it's really very simple. Back then, Sachi's presence in my life saved me, and today I have a chance to repay the favor. That's enough for now. What the fuck? Oh, is this like a flashback still? Oh, okay. The 28th day in the morning. Shit, that's right. We saw Sachi's past because she was going through, she's basically reliving all of that as Yuuji was reading over the documents. So, I mean, very coincidental, but that's how it worked. And I guess she's still in pain. Ah, shit. Probably not a good thing that someone is seeing this.
これ、うなされてるのよね。それに、すごい汗。とりあえず、起こしちゃった方がいいわね。
Or maybe get a fucking doctor.
よくわからないけど、勝手にそんなことしちゃってもいいものなの？夢を見てるくらいなら問題ないって。それにこのまま放っておいた方が体力奪われちゃうから。そうね。じゃあ私が。ねえ、サチ、起きなさい。サチ。
Yeah, she's reliving the events probably over and over again. That's gotta be excruciating.
ダメ、呼びかけたくらいじゃ起きてくれない。それなら。どいてチルチル、今度は私がやってみるのよさ。おい、サッチンってば、起きるのよさ。サチ？ミチル様。よかった。目が覚めたんだな、サッチ。それにマキちゃん。他にもアマネーと黒いのも一緒なのよさ。
Queen Frostine.
それにここは。ああ、三島崎にある病院よ。病院。そうでした。私一度気を失って。そう。それでお見舞いに来たら小峰さんがうなされていたから起こさせてもらったわ。すみません。皆さんにご迷惑をおかけしてしまって。
A nuisance of yours. You're. Come on, dude.
さっちゃんが謝ることないって。ねえ、サチ。あんたさっきの夢。みちる、それ以上はダメ。
Yeah, I was gonna say that might trigger some shit.
あ、そっか。ごめん、サチ。どうしてみちる様が謝るのでしょうか。本当に何でもないから、あんたも気にしないでよ。はい、わかりました。
Well, at least she's still kind of her normal self.
まあほら、無事にさっちゃんが見つかってこうして話すことができたんだからよかったじゃん。アマネーの言う通りなのよ。サッチンがいなくなってめちゃくちゃ心配したのよさ。私も探す手間くらいはかけたわね。
Okay, kid.
すみません。いろいろとご迷惑をおかけしてしまいまして。ほらユミコ、あんたがそんなこと言うからまたサッチが謝っちゃうでしょ。私は本当のことを言ったまでだけど。だとしてもそれを言わないのが友達ってもんでしょうが。本当にすみません。いいっていいって。だってさっちゃんはユージと約束した場所で待ってただけなんでしょ。
Alright, so they know the story.
はい、約束しましたから。そっか。だったらさっちゃんは何も悪くない。うん。あまねさん、さすがアマネーなのよ。心の大きさが胸に負けてないのよさ。
What the fuck?
それは言えてるかもしれないわね。榊さんまで。 今はゆっくり休んで早く元気になるのがサチの仕事だからね。
はい、わかりました。